Welcome to White House Fruit Farm. I'm Kim, and I am here at Ailey's with Yoda and David Italiano. And we have brought the goodness from the farm right here into their kitchen. But goodness is not anything new to them. They have been providing the community with goodness for years. They've apprenticed under Ailey and now own Ailey's, and we are here to make an apple quinoa kale salad with them. Yoda, would you like to tell us a little bit about the kale here?
Yeah, so here we have beautiful curly kale that comes from White House. We're gonna start by de-stemming it. You'll want to do is take each stem and quickly remove it. It's very easy. You just slide your hand down and you pull it right out. The reason we take the stems out is because they're super fibrous and really hard to digest. But they do make really good dog snacks, so we do keep them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good idea. Never thought of that.
So if you don't have a dog, you can totally compost them. We keep a little compost bucket here for all of our extras. So kale is really high in iron, so we really like to utilize it, especially when it's in season. But what we do is de-stem it, and then we bring it over to get chopped, and then it'll get massaged. So we'll walk through the process together. David, if you want to talk about the chopping of the kale.
Totally. So if you could help me just de-stem some of them, and then we will chop them up.
So kale is one of those greens that oftentimes people are afraid to use. They're not sure how to use it. It's just that sturdier green that people kind of shy away from. We're used to leaf lettuce and we're used to a head lettuce, but not something that's so high in the iron and the folate and all like the kale is. Don't let it scare you. Just strip it off. You can chop it as David's going to do here. And I'm going to massage some kale here. So talk about massaging the kale and why we do that.
Totally. So I'll start with chopping. So the best way to chop is obviously have a nice cutting board, a good chef knife, and after you de-stem it, you're just going to want to bunch it up. That's going to be the best, easiest way. And then just nice small cuts. And so after we cut it up, we're going to massage it, as you can see Kim doing right now. And she's going to massage it with some lemon juice right here. And the acid from the lemon juice will make the kale nice and soft, not so hard, much easier to digest.
Kale is one of those nice bases for your salad because it's a little bit heftier. You can put some ingredients with it. It doesn't melt down in the bottom of your bowl and get lost. So we just strip those stems out, chop it up, massage it here. Think that's good enough for me to put in our bowl here?
Yeah, that looks great.
All right, perfect.
And, some kale is so small that once you get to the top, don't be afraid to keep the top of the stems in. Those ones get softer as you massage them, like they said. Once the lemon juice really hits it, it really breaks down the fibers and it makes it a lot more palatable. So if you've ever had kale and not liked it, most likely it wasn't gone through this process of massaging. A lot of people don't do that, and it's like a major component in serving kale and having it be palatable and enjoyable.
Super important.
And so where did you get your knowledge on your culinary skills here?
Yeah, so David and I went to culinary school in California. We worked here for a couple years with Ailey and Jim, and they ignited a passion within us on eating plants and working with them as an art form. So we went to California and we went to Living Like Culinary School in Fort Bragg, California. We went together and it took a couple years and we graduated, came right back here, and that's when we transitioned into Ailey's, and we got trained in raw vegan. A new concept we're trying to bring to Youngstown and introduce to the menu here.
Yeah, we actually learned under the mother of raw living foods, Sherry Soria, and supernatural chef Carrie Bernard.
Oh, fabulous. And I know we enjoy having your food. We follow you on Instagram and on Facebook, as you'll want to do also. But the variety and the freshness of all your products, I just love.
Wow, you're massaging so great. That looks delicious.
Ailey and Jim really taught us the importance of working with local farms and produce and introducing them to the menu. A lot of people don't really understand our menu changing daily, but we try to reiterate that we work with what the farms bring us. So even though we don't have a standardized menu, if you
Changes
know you're
every day.
you're eating seasonally, and you know you're eating fresh and local, and that's really, really important to us.
So David, you said your menu changes every day. I've noticed on Facebook you have a pre-order option.
Totally, yeah. So it definitely helps to pre-order because we make only a limited quantity every day. Just it's the maximum amount that we are able to make here in the kitchen, and we sell out most days. So the pre-order definitely does help.
Yes, I've been a couple times when people have waited and thought, oh, I'll just be in the area later, I'll stop in. And a couple of my favorites sometimes I've had to come back for. So you'll want to order ahead.
Yeah, we make it really easy on our website. We made it really user-friendly. It's www.ailey's-2-go.com. It's on our Facebook, on Instagram, and if you Google us, it also pops up there. The pre-ordering is super easy. It allows you to pick up a time. We do have extended hours now. We're open until 7, so it's more accessible for people to come and enjoy our food. But like you said, pre-ordering is definitely key in our business model.
Yeah, and another important part of our business model is we deal specifically with fresh, local, organic farms in the area, such as White House. So we try to source most of our ingredients as much as possible from local farms.
And we appreciate that. It's just bringing goodness to the community on both sides. So we have some other ingredients here that we're going to be using. And when you purchase the Chef Basket, come to White House Fruit Farm and you'll see the ingredients right under the Chef Basket logo. That basket will be full of the ingredients that you need for the recipe that we're making. So if you were going to get the kale, it would come in bags like this. It will be in the basket for you.
So beautiful.
Isn't that great? We have some of the other ingredients here that you've measured out most of and got ready for us.
So the next ingredient that we're going to chop that's included in the basket are these beautiful apples. I'm going to pass these over to David to chop, but you can cut them any way that you like. We're going to just do some slices, but whatever way is more palatable for you, or if you enjoy thicker slices, totally go for it and experiment. But as he's doing that, I can go over the other ingredients included in this awesome basket. One of the main ones is quinoa. And a lot of people shy away from cooking with it, but it's actually really easy, and it's an ancient grain that's loaded with protein. And it's one that tastes amazing, and it can be flavored any way and added to anything to get a boost of protein. It starts off looking like this, like really small, little grains, comparable to rice. It's also gluten-free. But the really cool thing is that 1 cup actually puffs up and makes like quite a large amount. So a little bit goes a long way. So this is what it looks like 1 cup cooked versus uncooked. What also would be going in our salad is some walnuts, some cranberries, and some pumpkin seeds. And all of these are included in the basket. And the dressing that we're going to be using is a lemon shallot vinaigrette. And I'm going to pass it to Kim to go over the ingredients and where they're sourced from.
Sure. So we'll have everything that you need in the basket, like Yoda said. We have a couple of our dressing recipe items here. The maple syrup is one of the things that's used in this recipe for the dressing. And our maple syrup here that we have is from Misty Maples, which is the farm that is right behind White House Fruit Farm, so literally in our backyard. And so this will be in your basket also. And one of the things that you should know about the Chef Basket, some of these ingredients you will have left over so that you can make this recipe or any other recipes, or just enjoy them on their own, because some of them are standalone. You'll have extra apples, you'll have some extra syrup, some extra nuts, just some great things to have in addition to making just the one recipe.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that, because sometimes with a lot of kale, people don't really know how to approach it. But another thing that you can do with the kale, especially the kale you're using in this basket, is make kale chips with them. And they're really easy to make. You just chop them up and put them in the oven. But it's just a way you can utilize all of these delicious ingredients in multiple ways in case you're not making a large salad. And the maple syrup is so delicious. It's so cool that it comes so locally and so fresh and in season.
Totally, I love that.
It's another family farm. They've been making syrup for years. They've won several awards
Wow.
for their syrup. So we're happy that they're close to us. And
Yeah,
it's a
that's
natural
fantastic.
product. And we've partnered together and sold their syrup for years now. So are we going to want to add these in so we can massage?
Yeah, how would you like to do it? We can start assembling the final salad, or
Yeah, I think we're gonna add the apples immediately to the kale because it's already massaged with lemon. So by adding the apples into the kale, it will coat them and it'll stop them from oxidizing and turning brown. And not necessarily that that's a bad thing, but for your presentation, if you want to keep for a little bit, we want to keep them nice and crisp. So yeah, we can put them right with the kale.
okay. Do you guys want to like build it like a presentation?
Yeah, we have our main salad right here, but they're gonna get tossed in the lemon juice
Okay,
a little bit and
okay,
then
so
put
I
into the large
okay.
cup. So how did you cut those apples, David?
So I just decore them and thinly sliced thin wedges.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the best way for. That's how we definitely like it to enjoy with a salad like that. For sure.
So you can tell David has more skill than I. I love to bake and cook in the kitchen, but his slices are very thin compared to some of mine, and they're all uniform. All right, let's dump those in together.
Yeah. And we can start adding all the rest of our components. Once you got the chopping done, it's really easy to put together. So this is 1 cup of quinoa. We did that to show you the size difference and that it goes a long way, but the recipe only calls for 2/3. But you're more than welcome to add more or less, depending on if you want something that will fill you up more. So we're just gonna add some of this quinoa.
I appreciate that the quinoa is so high in protein, so you can have a salad with just the greens, the nuts, the quinoa, and have your full protein right there. It can be your meal. I really appreciate that with those ancient grains.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
it is filling. A lot of people hear salad and they think that they won't get full off of it, but when you can combine it with the nuts, the apples, and you're free to add any other proteins that you'd like, but all these flavors together really blend beautifully. So we're gonna add our walnuts, and then the last 2 things I get added are the cranberries and the pumpkin seeds.
So you've got a touch of sweetness, another nut with just a little touch of salt on it.
Yeah, I love this recipe. It truly is a super food salad, extremely well balanced.
Do you want to give it a little mix
Yeah,
before
I
we
would
put
love
the dressing on?
Totally. So we'll just mix it
I would
all
need a
in.
larger bowl to do that. I was glad she didn't offer it to me to mix.
We're just giving it a little mix to get the quinoa into the little crevices
Yeah,
of the kale.
absolutely.
But this dressing is really delicious. It's made with maple syrup, olive oil, some shallots, and lemon juice. Salt and pepper. It's really easy, but surprisingly really tasty. Usually the best things are pretty simple, right? Just less
Absolutely.
ingredients. So to serve this, if you're waiting a little bit, you can wait to put the dressing on. But as soon as the dressing is on, you're going to want to serve it immediately so the kale doesn't wilt. But we're going to go ahead right now and throw some on.
It certainly is a pretty salad. So if you're having guests over, this would be something that you could make ahead, put your dressing on right before you serve. It could be, again, something that you have as a side or something that you have as a main meal. Just a little, I don't know, what would you serve if you have as your main meal, David? What would you accompany with?
A nice loaf of bread.
Oh, the
That would be great.
yes.
David, you want to give it one last mix?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just mixing it all in, and this is gonna be so good. Wow.
What's really cool about the specific kale that we use, the curly kale, is that the edges are really tight and wound up, and when you pour a dressing on it, they really capture the flavors.
So yeah, this is totally a beautiful salad. I like to just display all the apples, and so you can get a nice even bite, have a great mouthfeel.
Yes, and you can use any variety of apples. We use Fuji here. We have many varieties in the market almost year round. We have our own storage, so we have our own apples almost right up until our late summer, early fall apples start. So this is Fuji, but you could use whatever your favorite is.
Yeah, Fuji's are a personal favorite of mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You guys want to give it a taste
Oh,
now?
Yeah, I would
sure.
love to.
I almost feel like we have to, right?
I know, we have
It looks
to.
so nice.
So that's done. It is. It's a visually really beautiful salad. And you know, the dressing itself has salt and pepper added to it, but based on, you know, your preference, if you need to add a little bit more, feel free to. There you go. Thank you, Lord.
This must be the best part. Was this always the best part of school too?
Oh yeah,
So much
yes,
food.
yes. It was awesome being able to taste all the creations. Even being here every day, it's just constant tasting.
I didn't even know you both are so thin. So cheers.